Tonight, a truck driver who is a self-proclaimed serial killer knows the time that he will spend behind bars for killing a woman in Indianapolis.
Our Rich Nye takes us inside the courtroom today, where the victim's daughter and the victim's sister told the judge about the suffering that her family has today.
73-year-old Bruce Mendenhall is already serving 2 life sentences for killing women in Tennessee. Mendenhall was brought to Indiana and found guilty in January of shooting and killing 31-year-old Karma Papura inside his semi-truck cab at the Flying J truck stop at I-465 and Harding Street in July 2007. Her daughter was 15 when Papura went missing.
Imagine being a teenager and suddenly carrying the weight of trauma so heavy it crushes your ability to function. Imagine living with relentless nightmares, panic attacks, and deep aching sadness that never truly fades.
There were so many people that loved my sister and that were hurt deeply. And thus, you can't replace that. You can't. She was amazing.
Ms. Papura was killed, and then her body dumped over the side of the road, as Your Honor remembers from trial, like nothing more than trash, leaving the family not to know what happened to her.
Police arrested Mendenhall at a Nashville, Tennessee truck stop the day after Papura went missing. Investigators found Papura's clothes, phone, and ATM card in a bag in his truck cab. Her skeletal remains were found 4 years later along a highway in Kentucky.
Do you have anything that you want the court to hear from you?
I don't.
You placed a garbage bag over her head, and you cared more about getting any blood after you shot her in the head, getting in your truck, than you did about her.
The judge sentenced Mendenhall to the maximum 65 years in prison to be served on top of sentences in other states. And Mendenhall could be on the road again soon to Alabama, where he is charged with a murder in Birmingham. Rich Nye, 13 News.
Mendenhall has now been convicted of killing 3 women at truck stops in Indiana and Tennessee. As Rich just mentioned, the next trial is now expected in the state of Alabama. Want to note that he is also a suspect in several killings in other states across the country as well.
Tonight, Hamilton Southeastern High School plans to honor the life of an 18-year-old graduate.
So and take a live now to Hamilton County right now. You can see people are gathering there wearing the Royals blue, which is the color for HSC. This is the football field. This is where a balloon release is planned. It's now 5:02. This release is scheduled for 5:15. This is all to honor, remember, and celebrate the life of Mason Alexander. Now, Mason graduated recently, and he was planning to play football at the University of Pittsburgh come this fall. However, unfortunately and tragically, he died Saturday night in a crash near Southeastern Parkway and I-69 in Hamilton County.
Our Logan Gay is at Hamilton Southeastern High School right now. She's going to join us live at 5:30 with a look at how Alexander's high school coach and athletic director are remembering him.
Also tonight, a 15-year-old is now under arrest and accused of bringing a gun to Lawrence North High School. School leaders say the good news is that gun never made it in the school because of their weapons detection system that they have in place. This is a system that we happened to have checked out last year. The Lawrence Township Schools Director of Security let us in with our cameras to see how it works. And in this video, you can see that the students hold up their laptops above their heads as they walk through the detector so that they didn't trigger an alert. The open gate detectors are made to pick up sharp metal objects and metals that are used in weapons.
Tonight, we're learning an off-duty Metro Police officer held the suspect in a deadly shooting outside a Southside restaurant before other officers arrived.
32-year-old Robert Smith died in that shooting, and now court documents detail what happened on Friday night at the Texas Roadhouse. This is the restaurant that's located near Southport Road and McFarland Boulevard.
Those documents state the off-duty officer, as well as customers and workers, tried to break up a fight between 2 men inside the restaurant. The off-duty officer says the suspect, who had a gun, pushed her off him before running out of the restaurant.
The off-duty officer then told investigators that she ran after the suspect before hearing multiple shots.
That's when she said she then ran back to the restaurant to get her own gun and returned to find the suspect with his gun holstered. The off-duty officer then held him at gunpoint until more Metro Police officers arrived and then took him into custody. Tonight, the Tippecanoe County coroner is identifying 2 women found dead in an apartment complex. The coroner also tells us the deaths of 34-year-old LaPortia Chenette and 28-year-old Khadijah Ross are under investigation as homicides. Someone found them around 8 o'clock Saturday morning in the apartment near I-65 South and I-65 and South Street in Lafayette. Lafayette police are now investigating this. And tonight, friends and family of Emily Martinez are remembering her days after she was hit and killed while crossing the street.
Police say the driver in this incident took off after the crash. It happened near Washington and Rural Streets. Our Anna Chalker went back to the scene today and tonight shares the message from friends. This is a message that they have directed at the driver.
Police say Emily Sue Martinez was hit and killed in this intersection of Washington and Rural Street Saturday night, and her friends tell me she was just crossing the street to get to the bus stop. Around 7:20 Saturday night, police say they were called to the intersection on a report of a person struck. When they arrived, they found Emily lying in the road in critical condition. She was taken to the hospital, but later died.
She had an infectious smile and a love for life and a love for people.
The driver who hit her drove off. Police did speak to a witness on scene, but say they did not see the vehicle. Now Emily's friends want the driver to come forward.
He hit someone's daughter, someone's mother, someone's aunt. You know, for you just to leave her on the street after you hit her it's just, I don't know, as a person I couldn't do it.
In Indianapolis, Anna Chalker, 13 News.
Certainly, if you have any information or description of the suspect vehicle, if you know who hit her and took off, you are encouraged to call IMPD.
Tonight, 6 people, including 2 children, are looking for another place to stay after a fire forced them out of their home.
Indianapolis firefighters shared these pictures online of the fire on the northeast side that happened earlier today. In fact, it started just before 10 this morning. This is Sheldon Street near 22nd. People who live there, not the only ones impacted. They told us firefighters and the people that were on the scene there that they had a dog and that her dog had 8 of her puppies in the basement.
Firefighters were able to find the dog family and rescue them, getting them out to the medic truck to stay warm. However, family told the firefighters they took in the pregnant dog as a stray and had taken care of her since then, but they could not take care of her any longer.
So they've now been turned over to Indianapolis Animal Care and Control. Angela.
Anne-Marie, just enough late day sunshine to get Indianapolis to 50 degrees. That's our new high temperature of the day. In the 50s south and west where we've had sunshine longer, and still some 40s on the map where we've had the clouds linger a little longer today. This evening, all of us skies start to clear. Temperatures will fall back through the 40s. We'll start the day in the upper 30s and low 40s on Tuesday, but grab the umbrella. A stray shower early in the day with heavy rain moving in this time tomorrow. A large storm system that's going to have an impact over the next couple of days. The heaviest rain will fall tomorrow late afternoon through tomorrow night. Wet roads and some possible street flooding. I'll have how much and the local timeline in just a few minutes.
And we're tracking the weather changes alongside Angela, and you can do that by downloading the Live Doppler 13 weather app. It is free in your phone's app store.
It's 5:08 and we are following some breaking news right now at 5 o'clock. And it comes from the Vatican. Pope Francis is now back on ventilation after suffering 2 respiratory episodes.
This is a live look at the Vatican where there's a nightly rosary held for the Pope. The Vatican says the 88-year-old pontiff has stayed alert and oriented throughout his treatment.
The leader of the Catholic Church has been hospitalized in Rome ever since Valentine's Day. To Wall Street now tonight, the Dow dropping nearly 650 points as worries are growing about the economy. This all follows the president's plan to place 25% tariffs on imports from Mexico and Canada starting tomorrow.
But despite those economic worries, the president is highlighting an economic win for his administration. Vaughn Hilliard reports from Washington, D.C.
The world of chips, certainly, but
President Trump pushing ahead with his America First agenda, announcing new foreign investment in the U.S.
Taiwan Semiconductor is announcing that they will be investing at least $100 billion in new capital in the United States.
The investment by a major Taiwan-based semiconductor manufacturer would take place over the next 4 years to build chip-making facilities in the U.S. Just 10% of chips are currently made here, the production key to U.S. national and economic security interests. This after Friday's diplomatic debacle with Ukrainian President Zelensky in the Oval Office.
You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position.
The two men had been expected to sign a minerals agreement and talk peace to end the war in Ukraine. But Zelensky saying today peace with Russia is far off. President Trump not happy with that statement.
And he better not be right about that. That's all I'm saying.
The administration leaving the door open for Ukraine.
We're ready to have those conversations. We had it with the Russians in Riyadh. We're ready to have it with the Ukrainians and then engage in shuttle diplomacy.
Meanwhile, here in the U.S., the president and Elon Musk's Doge unit facing more protests as the administration cuts large swaths of federal jobs.
We rally here today because we won't stand idly by as our government is dismantled.
Democratic lawmakers joining fired workers from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
We are here not only to stand with them, but to say that we will not allow the illegal actions of Elon Musk to stand. Are we going to let that stand? Hell no.
A second email went out on Friday asking for bullet points on what workers accomplished for the week. Several agencies told employees not to respond to the first email due to the sensitive nature of their work. A new poll shows Americans think the funding cuts and firings are harming the country more than it's helping it.
And that was Vaughn Hilliard reporting. President Trump is expected to talk about his moves to downsize the federal government during his joint address to Congress tomorrow night. You can watch it at tomorrow night at 9 right here on Channel 13. And we do want to be clear, this address is similar to a State of the Union, but it's not being called that, okay? Sitting presidents deliver a State of the Union after each year in office to highlight what they did the past year. That's why tomorrow's speech is going to be called an address to Congress.